All right, says I'm live. Let me check my phone and see if I'm live. See what's up. Good afternoon from Atlanta. How are you today? All right, I've got audio. All right, I'm just going to do a quick live. I finished up in the office today. I was kind of working on some things that I normally do on a Thursday, and I usually get the bulletin ready for church. And I used to have this practice where I would clean my office up on Thursday so it looked good on Sunday. But if you look at my desk, it's a complete and total disaster. Most of my office is, if you could see the rest of it, there's just junk piled everywhere. But I don't care. Tomorrow is my day off. I've got everything that's mandatory done today. So I just wanted to do a live video. I haven't done one of these in quite a while. And anybody want to say anything, ask a question, I'm going to hang around for a little bit till y'all get tired of it. And so right now, it looks like Rawlins, Carsville. Good afternoon from ATL. I'm assuming that's Atlanta. Hootie Who's on here. Hey, preacher. Nice coyote. Thanks. I appreciate it. I'm sure everybody knows about Hootie Who. He's got a great gun channel. Virgil Ashlock. Hi, how are you doing today? Doing good. It's Thursday, which is technically my Friday. So I finished up a little early, and I thought I'd spend some time with y'all. Sitting around and waiting for my next load. Well, I know what that's like. I hate that for you. Anyways, I just want to give you an update. I've been trying to do videos more often for the past week or so. And my plan is to try to do one about every 3 days. It may be every 2 days. It may be once a week. But I'm going to shoot for at least 2 a week. And that's what I'm going to shoot for. Mainly gardening videos. I wanted to do fishing videos. I really thought that I would be doing some fishing right now, but the river has never really gotten back in its banks. My wife and I went fishing up on the Mulberry River, which is a mountain stream north of us, and it was still a little too high to fish. I mean, you could fish it, but the fishing would be better if the flow was down and the water level was down. So basically, the fishing kind of stinks. All the ponds are getting hot. The fish aren't moving in them very much. And the river's way too high to fish. We got 5.5 inches of rain at my house over the weekend and a bunch more in Oklahoma, and everything in Oklahoma comes to Arkansas. And I can't blame them. If I was in Oklahoma, I'd want to come to Arkansas too. I mean, that's just, can't blame the river for wanting to be out of Oklahoma. I saw a deal the other day. It's cracked me up. I was scrolling through Facebook and it said, big letters, pray for Oklahoma. And I'm like, what in the world happened in Oklahoma? I'm thinking like a school shooting or a flood or an earthquake or a tornado. And I'm like, I slow down and I look like, pray for Oklahoma. It said nothing happened in Oklahoma. It's just some people have to live there. And I was like, I thought, man, that's hilarious. So anyways, with the river being jacked up, I probably won't be doing any fishing. Another thing, it's going to take a week or two, at least for the water to get down where it's fishable. And so once that occurs, then maybe I'll go back to fishing. But my goal for the next foreseeable future, at least till the end of summer, I'd like to do anywhere from 2 to 3 videos a week. That's what I'm going to strive for. They may be shorter. A bunch of them are going to be gardening videos just because that's basically what I've been doing on my day off. I've been doing gardening videos, and I'm going to be doing some cooking videos, but probably in the near future, because all of my tomatoes are getting ripe, I need to do a tomato taste test. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 6, I believe, 6 different types of tomatoes in our garden. We picked a couple. I had tomatoes and bacon for breakfast this morning. My wife had a bacon tomato sandwich. We don't keep lettuce around the house. I don't. I didn't get this figure from eating salads. But it's tomato season, so I'll probably be doing a tomato taste test video as soon as I can get one off each vine going. So if there's something you'd like to see me do, or if you have a question about the garden, you have a question about fishing, anything like that, now'd be the time to hit it up. I see Georgia Boy 44 is on here. So if you have things you'd like to see, if you have something you would want to, maybe you want me to address, something I can answer now, I'll be more than willing to do it. I'm going to kill a few minutes. I'll just give you a little update of what's going on. Some of you saw the flood video. I just had the first video was just a dash cam in my truck, and I had bugs on the windshield. It was nasty. But I was just trying to document how high the river got, because that was a record watermark for the river. The Arkansas River is higher than it's ever been since we've been keeping record. The flow rate was it's flown faster than it ever flowed through there. So when the river went down last, I believe it was Saturday, we got on a four-wheeler and drove around and I showed you some of the damage to our property, where some of the fences were completely leveled off with sand. In other words, sand just filled in until the fence was no longer visible, and that spot was all sand. What we found out so far is that there's probably not going to be any money to fix that, because we are on the river side of the levee. It says, hey, you flood, which we have flooded. In 2015, we had a pretty major flood. But even then, that was a major flood. I mean, highest in many, many years, we still had dry ground. This time around, the highest part of our land, which they said had never been underwater, it was 5 foot under. So old timers that had farmed there, back before us, generations ago, said this barn and this little knoll here has never been underwater. Well, all that was underwater, and there's dirt marks on the barn up to about 5 foot. So it was an epic flood. I tried to document some of the damage, which I thought all the sand was pretty crazy. So anyways, we've got this flood going on, and it's flooded, and now the water's kind of gone down. Then we got all the rain. It's coming back up, and this is the river level's just kind of keep doing this. It's going to take a while before it gets down where we have where it's not going to be a threat of just flooding all the time. So anyways, the bad news is there's going to be some government money for farmers. It's just not going to be available to us. The way it's looking, it's not going to be available to us. So with that being said, it's going to fall back just on our out-of-pocket expense to plow in, haul off, doze out that sand. Sand won't grow anything. A lot of our land just needs to be leveled, maybe drug out and rolled flat, disked. There's a number of things we can do depending on whether it needs to be grazed or it needs to be cut for hay. The real problem, though, not only do we have the flood issue, and I'm not a farmer, I'm a preacher. My in-laws they have the farm. We bought land off them. My wife and I bought land off my in-laws, and we live there. But that land down the river, the real problem is this. My father-in-law has been in and out of the hospital and the nursing home since the first of the year. He's either been rehabbing or he's gone back into the hospital. He's been home maybe 2 or 3 weeks since the first of the year. And he started out with pneumonia. Then he had a fungal infection in his blood. He went to Little Rock. He stayed in ICU for about 2 weeks. They finally got him transferred back up here to rehab. While he was in rehab, he fell and broke his hip. After he fell and broke his hip, he went back to the hospital. He got that surgery, sent him back to rehab. He just got to where he could kind of get up and walk with a walker. And he went down on the land that's flooded or was flooded. He went down there to check the cows and just kind of get out and drive around. And he tried to go through a gate. And when he went to close the gate, he fell and he cracked his back in 2 places. So that sent him back to the hospital and then back to rehab. And the whole time he's down, he just doesn't have the strength. I mean, he's losing his ability just to get up and move around. So he's just constantly been in and out of the hospital. And my mother-in-law, bless her heart, she's had to pick up the slack and kind of keep the farm going while he's in the hospital. And we've been talking to him about downsizing the farm. And basically his answer is no, I'm not going to do it. We're not going to sell cows. We're not going to lease land. We're not going to get rid of anything. So a lot of my time has really been just kind of picking up the slack for my in-laws because of the condition of my father-in-law. Well, to make matters worse, all the cattle that were down there on the river where it flooded, we had those moved up here. A lot of the farmers got together. They helped us load those cows, and they moved them up on the hill where we live at on the high ground. And those cows kept getting out because we were packing a whole bunch of cows on small acreage, just trying to hold them there. And they kept getting out. Well, one night they got out at midnight. My mother-in-law went out to help the neighbor put them back up, and a cow turned around in front of her as she was going down the road to try to get ahead of them and head them off. And my mother-in-law on a 4-wheeler hit a cow at night and broke her shoulder right here, broke her arm right under her shoulder, and then broke her pelvis in 2 places. So that put her in a wheelchair with her arm in a sling. She's been that way since we were on vacation a couple of weeks ago. That happened while we were in California. So my wife's been taking care of her mom, taking care of her dad. I've tried to take care of things so my wife didn't have to. We're providing, trying to keep my mother-in-law in meals and whatever she needs. And now she's starting therapy. So I got a lot of crazy stuff going on, just health-wise, with my in-laws, with the flood, with the way the farm is. All that stuff's going on. And then I'm trying to figure out a way to kind of keep my wife from having to handle all that. So basically, that's a little background. That's something I don't stick on all the videos, but since I'm here and I'm talking about it, I figured we'd just throw it out there. That's kind of what we're dealing with. So my wife and her sister and her mom have some real decisions to make about what they're going to do on our farm going forward. As far as how much we want to farm, and do we want to start downsizing, maybe cutting back. These are all going to be issues that are going to be faced by my family in the near future. 67 Rebel SST AMC is here. Welcome in. Blue Healer 260 is here. So I think we had 13 people watching at one time. I'm happy with that. I didn't expect a big crowd. It was just kind of off the cuff, spur of the moment, give me a chance to talk about some things. And if any of y'all have questions or suggestions or anything you think I should do, by all means, hit me up, and I'll try to answer them or include them in the upcoming videos. But that's pretty much, in a nutshell, what's been going on at our house. Has been dealing with my father-in-law in the nursing home and the hospital, dealing with my mother-in-law in a wheelchair, and then trying to manage a farm that neither one of them are able to currently take care of at this time. So it's kind of crazy, but it's not permanent. It's not long-term. My mother-in-law's typically in pretty good health, and she should come back. My father-in-law, I'm hoping he fully rehabs and gets to where he can eventually come back home, but he can't come home until he's at least able to walk and kind of take care of himself a little bit on his own. That's all tough. Now, things at church, they're great. Everything at church is good, other than my office looks like it got hit by a tornado. And I started to clean all that up before I turned the camera. I thought, no, if I clean it all up, I won't have time to do this. So we'll just push all that aside and do a live. So Another thing I want to start doing, other than I'd like to be fishing, but that ain't going to work out until the rivers go down. I need to do some more shooting videos. I have some guns that need to be shot. I've got some ammo that I need to burn up. Not a lot of ammo. I just got half a box of this, half a box of that. I'd like to get all of that shot and then reload all fresh ammo for summer or for summer. Shoot all that ammo this summer and go into this fall's hunting season with all new reloads. If you know my theory on reloads, I don't reload thousands and thousands of rounds and stockpile them. Instead, what I do is I load enough ammo for my use, and I don't intend to keep any ammo longer than a year. And so I got a half a box of 223. I got a half a box of 300 blackout. And when I say a box, these could either be 50 or 20 boxes of 50 or 20. Anyways, I'm going to try to burn all that ammo up, and I want to try to do it creatively. It's not fun just to go out and just shoot at nothing. So I've about shot up all the little toys and stuff that I've done in the past. So probably I've got a little bit of tannerite left, but that's not any fun unless you got something to pile on top of it. So I need to come up with some things to shoot. I need to get rid of some of that ammo and start reloading fresh for the coming season. So I'll probably be doing a gun video of some kind. I've got a range in my backyard now, and I'd like to do a video shooting in my backyard range. I can kind of give you an idea of what that looks like off the back porch. And I need to do all that before the deer start getting around. I don't like running the deer off. I don't ever really shoot deer in the yard. I've shot one in the yard. I've lived there for 20 years. I've shot one deer in the yard, and that's just because I always wanted to say I had land and I shot a deer in my own yard. And so I'll tell you that story because we got a few minutes. PC Bullet Empire, hey, thanks for stopping by. I'll tell you about the blue cat in a minute. Let me tell you this deer story. This is a good deer story. This is a great deer story. So it's Saturday morning. I'm letting the dogs out. I didn't go hunting for some reason that day. And the dogs are wanting out the front door. And so I go and let the German Shepherd and the little miniature dachshund go out the front door and out in the yard. And I'm walking. I hate to paint this picture for you, but I'm in my underwear walking into the kitchen, okay? And as I'm walking into the kitchen, I look out the back. We've got big French doors in the back of the dining room or kitchen area. And I look out those doors, and there's an 8-point, look at the camera, like this big. No. There's like a 16-inch wide 8-point standing by the trampoline in the backyard. I don't know where this deer came from. I've never seen him before. So I'm like, I got dogs in the front yard, this buck, and there's another buck with him. He wasn't as big. I didn't really focus in on him. So I go running back to the front door, and I open the front door. And, normally when I call the dogs in, it's like, Champ, Brownie, get in here now. I'm barking orders. But I don't want to be loud because I got deer in the backyard. So I'm like, psst, psst, hey. And they're out there like peeing on my tire looking at me like, no, we just got it. We're not coming in. And I'm like, get in here. Come on, get in here. So finally I get them in there, and then I'm afraid that they're going to look out the back door because anytime they see something in the backyard, they go crazy, start barking. So I get the dogs back in the bedroom and get them locked in there. I get my gun. I go sneaking around. I got my Crocs on. I didn't bother to get dressed, to put my orange on. I'm in the yard tiptoeing around the house with the 243. And I get around there and I shot the deer, and it dropped in the yard right next to the trampoline. And then there was another deer I didn't even see, another buck over here. So there was 2 bucks running off, and they were smaller than the one I got. But anyways, I was real proud of that. And my wife, she came out and we hung it up and skinned it right there in the yard. And so I always wanted to do that, and I did it. And then since then, I just kind of, if I saw one out in the backyard now, I'd probably just look at it and go, that's nice. So, but I want to get all my shooting done before deer season rolls around, because because I don't want to run them off. And I don't have a suppressor, so when I shoot, it's loud. And when I shoot down in the draw, it really, really echoes. So I like to get all my shooting done there. When I do shooting closer to deer season, I usually go further away. So I like keeping them around the house. Besides, if they don't live next to me, they'll go to the neighbors and the neighbor will kill them. He's worse than I am. I try to, they really got to be big. I'm not mad at most of them that live around my house. I don't want to shoot them in the yard. Okay. Tim Robinson asked about he asked about the big blue cat. I caught that a couple years ago. There's actually a video on my channel of me reeling in that cat, filleting it, and putting it in the freezer. I think it's called Catfish's Trip from the Arkansas River to My Freezer or something like that. It's the same picture as the thumbnail. So that cat weighed, I think it was 21 or 23 pounds or 25 pounds. I don't know. It weighed 20-something pounds. And I caught that a couple years ago. I think it was in February, actually. Right on the Arkansas River, right where I showed you all that flood footage. I was right there on those rocks. Well, those rocks were underwater, but I was on the jetties right there, Tim, to answer your question. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. I've been on here 21 minutes. I thought I'd go for 30 unless I ran out of something to talk about or y'all all got bored and left. But there's still 13 of you hanging around. So I wish some funny stuff had happened. I don't really guess I really have any more funny stories that I can think of for the time being. Except my wife beating me in fishing. She beat me 3-2 last week. She still talks about that from pretty regular. And basketball ref did watch that video. We ate lunch together. Me and the basketball ref ate lunch together. Anytime I look bad in a video, I get a phone call from basketball ref going, "Hey, you want to go eat lunch? Because I want to make fun of you." Anytime I outfish the basketball ref, which is most of the time, you can't find him. I don't know where he goes. Goes into hiding some way. Loads of bacon. Hey, thanks for coming by. Unless I ran out of something to talk about, said the preacher. Ha, 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 ha. Yeah, true. I've been talking to y'all, and you haven't said a word back except in the side chat for 22 minutes, 35 seconds. Fuzzy Fork 8. He doesn't smell live. Oh, yeah, you must be talking about the coyote in the background. I introduced that to people in my church office as the world's best dog. He doesn't bark. He doesn't bite. He doesn't eat much. He doesn't smell. You don't have to let him out. What other good things? He doesn't shed. He doesn't have fleas. He doesn't have ticks. You don't have to worm him. There's a lot of benefits to having that dog in the office, and I highly recommend that everybody get one. And if you get that and you strategically plant that in your home, it will prevent break-ins. If people look in and see something like that, looking at them, they're like, "No, I'll just go next door and get their stuff." So it's a good dog, real good dog. At work, but listening, Blue Healer 260. Well, we are marginally better than working if you were listening to us. Warsaw Patriot, thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it. So, any questions for me before I wrap this up? Any requests? Any questions about the garden? Questions about the dogs? Speaking of dogs, I want a German Shepherd and a Siberian Husky. What you're going to want is a Tractor Supply gift card because you're going to be feeding a lot of dog food. Champ's a big dog. He sheds a lot of hair. And that is really my only complaint about the German Shepherd that we have. He is a great dog. He's the best dog I've ever had, smartest dog I've ever had. But the inside of my house looks like a pillow factory. I mean, you can sweep, and within a couple of days, like hair just goes together and makes mounds. And then it moves around the living room floor on its own. I swear the air conditioner's not on. We have tile floor, and this hair just kind of just like hovers around the living room. I've never seen anything like it. If we could shave the German Shepherd, just shave him like a hairless cat, Be the best dog the world. He'd be better. He'd be better than the old yodeler back behind me. So, anyways, yeah, Siberian Husky. I don't know. I bet they shed too. Hey, Kyle Lusk, thanks for stopping by, man. It's good to see you. Ohio is almost a constitutional carry. About time. Hey, that's good. Arkansas is constitutional carry, but now the state police here are having they're saying that they don't recognize that and they don't understand what's being said. And basically what the state police is upset about is not that we have the right to carry a gun on us concealed. They're losing the $55 fee that they get for concealed carry permits. Their money's going down, so they're trying to read into the law something different. Anyways, any good loads for 30-06? How funny is that, loads of bacon? There are no good loads for 30-06 because a 30-06 is a boring caliber that no one's interested in reloading. But if I were to reload with it, I would reload it with IMR 3031, of course. Dogs love me. We smell the same. That's funny, Fuzzy Fork. Dust bunnies. Oh, dust bunnies. No, these hairballs actually trail dust bunnies. They run them just like beagles would run rabbits. Tribbles. Missed that one. Hi, Vanessa Kitty. Thanks for stopping by. Butterbean 05. I know how you feel about blue heelers. Sheds like crazy. When we got the German Shepherd, I honest to goodness thought it was an outside dog. We had one little weenie dog inside. The wife's talking about having this dog as a therapy dog, one she could take to school and the kids could pet, and somehow that'd make them have good grades. That's the way it was pitched to me. And so I, at the same time, was going, yeah, I wouldn't mind pouring a concrete slab and, putting a fence up and a roof over it and having like a kennel where we could keep dogs. And the whole time I'm talking about the concrete slab and the dog pen with a roof over it, she's already just went into, we're getting the German Shepherd mode. And next thing I know, the dog's at our house. We own it. And I'm like, we don't have the pen ready to keep it. Well, we don't need a pen. It's an inside dog. I'm like, do you remember anything we said? But no. So we got an inside German Shepherd, and we've had him for, I don't know, what seems like an eternity. But I'll give you some advice. If you're going to get an inside dog, get a short one that can't see out the window, like Brownie, the little weenie dog. Deer walk around the yard, he don't know it. Burglar in the yard, he don't know it. He goes by sound. He can be in a dead sleep and hear something on the porch. He jumps up and starts barking. Champ, the big German Shepherd, because he can stand up and see out the window, if a bird flies by, he barks. If a leaf moves, he barks. He's constantly on guard. And I guess that's why he's a guard dog, but it can get pretty old at times. And get one that don't shed. Get one that's small. I'm talking about if you want to have a peaceful life. If you're paranoid and you're a prepper and you think that the world's out to get you and you're worried about Big Brother, hey, get Champ and sweep up a lot and stay up a lot and get up early every morning. Let's see who's here. Let's see here. All law enforcement took an oath. Yeah, they did. But those at the top, they need money. I have 10 dogs, 5 blue heelers, 5 border collie heeler cross. Wow. There's your dog food bill. People need to know what an oath is. Hey, look, I'm a law and order guy. There's cop in our church. I know a lot of cops. In the Air Force, I was a security police officer, so I understand law enforcement. But I also understand politics. And the state police, the problem is not the guy in the car pulling you over writing a ticket for speeding. The problem is at the top when they're losing budgeted income because people in Arkansas are saying, I don't need a concealed carry permit anymore. We're constitutional carry. When that hits you in the pocketbook, that's when they want to quit. Hunting with Hadaway. I'll be dog. Old preacher done went live. I sure did. Good to hear from you, Hadaway. I bet you're still recovering from that birthday party last night. No, he wasn't partying. It was his daughter's 8th birthday. He probably ate half the cake, though, if I was a betting man. St. Bernard's. Oh, I know a lady that had a St. Bernard. Used to have a lady in church. That thing was so weird. His skin was so heavy, his eyelids would pull down, and he'd come up, and you'd lean over to pet him, and you could like drop a quarter down in between his eyelids and his eyeballs. It was crazy. Crazy. Fuzz triples from the old Star Trek. Oh, man. Uh-oh, somebody made fun of Alabama with Hadaway on here. And people from Alabama only have a 2-word response. Roll Tide, roll tide, roll tide, roll tide. Old one guy. Hi, preacher. Hey, thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it. Don't get a basset hound. They shed terrible too. Me too, hunting with Hadaway. Roll Tide. Butterbean. Vanessa Kitty. I grew up with St. Bernards. My current dog are named after the St. Bernards. And half the ice cream. Hadaway ate half the ice cream with his daughter's birthday cake. I was real proud of you that when she was blowing out the candle, you hadn't already raked your finger through the icing and tried it. So I thought you did real good and showed a lot of restraint there. I tell you what, if y'all haven't ever watched Hunting with Hadaway's channel, you need to go watch it. And you need to watch last year's year in review. Came out about 2 or 3 weeks ago. Anyways, it's just kind of the highlights of last year's hunting season. And you'll see his daughter in there with a little spike, I think. She's holding up a shell. She's got like 1 243 shell. I reloaded that and sent it to him. And, yeah, I was pretty proud of that. Every time I watch it, I get a big kick out of it. And he's got my favorite hunting channel. I watch it all the time. And I enjoy it. If you like me, you'd like Hadaway because we were probably separated at birth, and I was just fortunate to be raised in Arkansas, and bless his heart, he got stuck in Alabama. So anyways, enough about dogs. I've been on here for 32 minutes. Is there, I guess we'll do last call for questions. Any questions, comments, smart remarks, criticisms? St. Bernards we grew up with came from the same breeder in New Hampshire. Dad, did y'all have the little barrel keg thing underneath them with what was ever in that? Was that like brandy or something? What was in the keg under the St. Bernard's chin? That's what I want to know. In the cartoons. You know, that's where my knowledge of everything come from is cartoons. All right, if you don't have any questions or comments, I'm going to wrap it up. Thank you guys for stopping by. Just kind of spur of the moment. I know there wasn't a lot of people knew about this, but I figured some of you was at work and probably bored anyways. You know, you subbed on Hadaway. Good. You will like Hadaway. He cracks me up. Hey, I'm going to try. My wife keeps saying she wants to go back to the beach. And our favorite beach, we've been to a lot of beaches. And I probably should say this because I probably won't be able to find a rental down there because it's kind of a secret thing. And not a lot of people know about it. But my favorite beach in all of America is Dauphin Island, Alabama. Dauphin Island is a little island out off Mobile Bay. And it's basically just all old rental homes and condos. And the beaches down there, if you're like me and you don't walk around with your shirt off showing your bod, that's the best beach to go to, because Dauphin Island, you can look at the times we've been there, there's places on that beach where there's nobody for 100, 150 yards in either direction. A couple of weeks ago, we were at Malibu Beach in California. Malibu, where the Hollywood people live, right? That thing was disgusting. I saw people carrying up broken beer bottles out of the sand, laying them up on the bank. There were people everywhere. You're sitting there like this, people just packing around you. No, my wife said we're going to go back to Dauphin Island. So if we go back to Dauphin Island, I know Hadaway lives somewhere in South Alabama, and so I'm gonna have to dogleg around and meet up with him next time. That'll probably be next summer. We'll have to go back to Dauphin Island, and I'm gonna try to meet up with Hadaway. I may just do like a Preacher's Day Off world tour, and we'll just zigzag around the South, checking in on other YouTubers. That'd be a dream trip for me. Yes, it's brandy. Okay. I thought that's what was in the keg under a St. Bernard's chin. Love Gulf Shores, Alabama. If you love Gulf Shores, you would really love Dauphin Island. Way less people. Same beach, same waves, same water. Think about the Gulf of Mexico. Most places you go along Alabama and Mississippi, their beaches, you can walk out there. If you got to pee, you got to walk out there 100 yards, or you just got to sit down in the water and pee, because their beaches they don't drop off. They go like this. You'd be out there like a half mile from shore. It's waist deep. You're looking around. That's the way most of the Gulf Coast is. I like that. When we were in Malibu Beach, their beach was like a bluff. You had like a bunch of sand here, and it was kind of flat, and everybody was sitting there, and then you walked out where the water was, and you'd be out there standing on dry ground when the wave would go out. And then when the wave would come in, it would be head high. So these poor kids would be they'd be running out there trying to get their feet wet. And then about the time they caught up with the water, the next wave would come in. They'd have to run all the way back up the bank. It's sweeping them out to sea. It was crazy. So yeah, if you, our favorite beach is Dauphin Island. And if I ever go back down there, I'm going to try to find Hadaway and meet up with him and buy his dinner or something. Anyways, I just finished restraining the bench swing around the fire pit, 8 foot high, 6x6, this hexagon, 5 bench swings. Hey, those are nice. I've seen those on the internet. I don't have, my fire pit constantly changes because I'm just burning a stump. I don't really have a fire pit. Just whatever tree fell over last, that's where we burn. Anyways, that's good. I do Rebel Traveling RT98 from Louisiana to Pensacola. Okay, I'm picking up bad traits from the dog I found myself smelling behind before, and I would let company come see us. Be glad to have you. Hadaway, if we end up going to Dauphin Island, I can assure you I'll get in touch with you, and we'll try to meet somewhere and have dinner or something, whatever works out. All right. I think I've kind of recognized everybody that stopped by. If I didn't recognize you, I apologize. Thanks for coming by. What's for supper tonight? We're going to have hot dogs. I got hot dogs, hot links, Polish sausages, and jalapeno cheddar links. Surely out of one of them, I can find something that's edible. But the way I do a charcoal grill, if you're going to light it, you might as well have enough meat to cook until it burns out. So what I'll do, as soon as I get it lit while it's hot, I'll throw the Oscar Mayer wieners on there. Because a hot dog ain't cooked on the grill unless you burnt some black on it somewhere. So while it's hot, you get that char, you can roll them hot dogs around. You set them Polish sausages, because you don't want to split. You get them hot and they'll split. Just set them over here, just let them get hot while you're cooking on the cool side. Then when you get all the hot dogs off, I got these red wrapped hot links. I think they're Polk brand, Polk. Man, these things right here, they're good. They're the kind that you kind of have to bite down on them to get through the red skin, and then they're kind of hot doggy on the inside, and they're hot. They're spicy. Anyways, I put those on there. I char them, but since they're thick, I kind of set them over there with the Polish sausages. Then I lay the jalapeno cheddars on there, and you don't want to bust them either. So I get a little color on them, and I just kind of keep rotating things to hot over to warm, hot over to warm. And then about that time, the fire's died out, and I've cooked my Polish sausages. I've cooked my hot links. I've cooked my jalapeno cheddars, and I've cooked my my regular old Oscar Mayer hot dogs. And I like Oscar Mayer. I've got the wieners and I've got Oscar Mayer, and I didn't know they made these till just recently. Oscar Mayer Smokies. You know, like the little Smokies that you wrap in bacon or put in a crock pot full of barbecue sauce. They got like hot dog size Smokies. And Oscar Mayer does. Man, they're pretty good. I recommend them. So that's what's on supper for tonight. Let's see, where did I make it down here? A roadkill Hadaway. Yeah, I've cooked roadkill. Definitely. Natural casings. They might be natural casings. David J. Sounds amazing. It's just hot dogs, man. It's lips and rear ends off a slow running horse. I guarantee you. Lips and rear ends off a slow running horse. You got your big buck from the last at the taxidermist. Gonna show the mount when it gets back, right? Actually, I'm not gonna get it mounted. I used to do taxidermy work. I could still do it. And I went up there to the guy that I would have had mounted, and I saw what he was charging to get something mounted. And I'm like, I'm not paying that. And this other buddy of mine, he's got a taxidermy shop. And he's like, hey, man, I don't know why you're paying to mount your own deer. You know how to mount your own deer. You can do a good job. Why don't you just use my shop? And then I started thinking about, I got to flesh that hide, tan the hide. Then I got to get the mannequin and prep it. And then I was like, I don't want to do all that. So I'm just going to put the horns up. And that's actually a video I'm probably going to do if I ever get a cloudy day when it's not 112. I'm going to do a show how I make my little teardrop shaped antler holders, or the way I do all my other deer horns. So to answer your question, I'm not getting it taxidermied. I've got smaller ones taxidermied, but I didn't pay that much for them, and I'm just too lazy to do it myself. You would like eating with the preacher or Kyle? Well, if you're ever down this way, Fuzz, come by. I'll fix you something. Do you sing the commercial as you make your Oscar Mayer wiener? Make you Oscar Mayer. Oh, like my bologna has a first name? Yeah, I never, no. Usually if I'm singing, it's something Southern rock or old country. I try not to get commercials stuck in my head. I once mounted a buck, got thrown off. Well, yeah, that's contrary to laws of nature, you know. Buying the wood-fired ovens fire brick on Monday. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, Vanessa. One of the things I really, really want to do is I want to build a brick smoker, fire pit, barbecue cooker. I've got about 4 bundles of brick left over from when I built my house 20 years ago, and I never knew what I was going to do with it. And I would really like to just build a brick. I would like to have a rectangle that I could just shovel coals underneath and have a rack up where I could lay like a whole goat, like split a goat and lay it up there, or do like a half a hog or a small hog. I really, 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 really want to do something like that. And I'm too fat and lazy to get started. But one of these days, I'm going to have a brick fireplace, or not a fireplace, a brick. It ain't going to look professional. It's not going to look outdoor kitchen. It's going to look like something redneck, not something you'd want to see on YouTube, just something you'd want to eat off of if you didn't know where it came from. Let's see here. Lord have mercy. That buck would make ours look tiny. I'm devastated. Hey, Hadaway, I take a good picture, man. Them things aren't as big. I mean, when you're short and fat, you got to learn how to use your arms to your advantage and get it out front, make it look big. And, yeah, it's trick photography, man. If I ever get down your way, I'll show you how to hold these things. And, man, you'll be thinking you killed Boone and Crockett's down there. That is what my wood-fired oven is, smoking turkeys and everything else. Man, Vanessa, that makes me covet real bad, and I shouldn't do that. Nothing like smoked turkey. I've saw folks do that around here, Fuzz. I've never done it. Well, guys, I've been on here for 45 minutes. I was going to try to be home by 5 o'clock, and if I left now, I'd skate right in there. But I've got to grab a few things before I leave. Hey, thank you guys for tuning in. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up. I'm not Uncle Jim. I can't carry on for 2.5 hours, and I'm not really accomplishing anything except telling stories and answering questions. So, I'll post photos if I build it on Instagram. Vanessa Kitty, how would I find you? I'm on Instagram. I don't ever post nothing on there. I don't know how that works. I tried to do Instagram, and I just don't take enough selfies to be interested in it. But I would like to look at something like that. So do I just look up Vanessa Kitty on Instagram? Will that get me to you where I could see pictures of it when you get it up? Because I'd follow you, and then I'd check it every once in a while. Good to see you, brother. Good to see you, Kyle. Vanessa Kitty, smoked turkeys are the best. I agree. Southern Tulip is here. I didn't know you were on it now. Sorry I missed the show. Okay. I will look it up, Vanessa. Thank you very much. That's all I needed to know. I will look that up, and next time I get on Instagram, I'll follow you, and that way I can see it. You didn't miss anything. I just told some dumb stories. Southern Tulip, you didn't miss anything. I told a few dumb stories and talked about my plans of trying to produce 2 to 3 videos a week for the remainder of summer. And that's what I'm going to strive for. Anyways, hey, thanks for stopping by. I know it was kind of spur of the moment. We'll do another one of these, and I'll try to announce it next time and plan it a little better. Bill Johnson, thanks for coming by. Got in late, catch the replay. Well, Bill, you can probably find something better to do with your time, but I appreciate you stopping by and watching. And I got to pick a time to cut it off sooner or later, and I need to get home because them hot dogs ain't going to cook themselves. Me and my sis been watching your channel for 2 hours, cooking videos. Love them. I really, next Wednesday night, I'm going to be cooking Mexican chicken at church. And if everything goes right, I plan on videoing that. And I'm going to go ahead and tell you straight up, this Mexican chicken recipe that I got is delicious. It's delicious. It's easy. It's delicious. We've been eating it for years. I'm just going to make like 4 or 5 batches for the church. And I plan on videoing it at the church next week. So hopefully that'll be next Wednesday, maybe next Thursday or Friday. Look for a Mexican chicken video and then try it. Now you can thank me later. It's easy. It's wonderful. And you'll like it. I got a picture you'll get a kick out of, and I'll text it to you shortly, preacher. Please do. Please do, Hadaway. Bye, y'all. Thank you kindly, preacher. Your shows are always pleasing to see. Hey, thank you all for the kind words, comments. Thanks for stopping by, tuning in. Just pray the water goes down. We can get back to fishing. Otherwise, y'all going to get tired of gardening and cooking videos. So let's end it right here. That's almost 50 minutes. That's almost sermon length. It's almost sermon length. So let me figure out how to turn it off. Right here, end stream. See you later. Thanks for tuning in. And hopefully we'll crank out a couple, 2 or 3 videos a week from now on. And be thinking about what you'd ask me next time, because I'll advertise it a little better, and we'll have another live stream. I don't know, maybe in July. Thanks for watching.